yang utama salah satunya adalah mencari technical director atau director teknis. Now, let's actually segue to that since you brought it up. Technical director is a role that has been assigned for you to have input in findings. So you yourself have had obviously much experience in a technical director or director of sports. So your current plan to appoint a technical director in Indonesia, what are your considerations in looking for the right candidate?
Well, I think it has to be somebody who has experience with different countries, different cultures, different strategies. I also think it's imperative that the person can work together with the national team coach from all the ages, and from there on to design the right structure, help in the day-to-day. And I think it's important to have somebody here to really kind of design the strategy and to know exactly where we want to go and how to get there. So I think it's important to have somebody who, again, I repeat, has experience abroad, that he's open-minded, that he's quick to adapt to new places, because every culture is different. And it's important to work together as a group, as I said before also, together with the federation, together with the coaching staff, and all together to try to create the same direction, the same path towards good results.
Common goal.
Yeah.
So, yang saya menanyakan adalah role-nya Dirtek, apa sih yang dicari untuk kandidat tersebut. Dan yang pasti kalau Jordi ingin kandidat untuk Dirtek ini bisa seseorang yang punya pengalaman di berbagai negara-negara lain di dunia ini. Karena dia juga ingin seseorang yang punya pengetahuan yang luas, pengalaman yang luas, dan juga dari kebudayaan juga terekspos sama kebudayaan lain di luar Indonesia saja, dan juga bisa kerjasama sama tim PSSI sama pelatih-pelatih di setiap level untuk membentuk strategi yang tepat untuk semua level bisa menuju ke goal yang sama, yaitu meningkatkan sepak bola di Indonesia. So I want to talk about your personal experience, because you mentioned how it would be good to have a technical director that has a more worldly experience, I suppose, like a more global kind of cultural experience. You yourself have a very interesting background. You obviously are a son of arguably the best Dutch footballer of all time, but you actually started at a young age in Spain. Can you tell us a little bit about how that experience was for you, having played at the youth level in Spain, and actually you make a home in Spain as well?
Yeah, I think that's having a father that moved a lot of countries, played in different places, and the fact is my first language, like my mother language, if I can say this, is Spanish. That was the first language I ever spoke, and that's why I also understand in many cases when we talk about players from different cultures playing for which national team. For me, I think I'm one of the few players who played for the Holland, the Netherlands, Dutch national team without ever having played a game in the Dutch league.
Right.
So I do understand that part. I had the option to play for Spain and also the option to play for the Holland national team. My first language was Spanish. I spent most of my life living in Spain, but I played for Holland. And it's one of those decisions you make with your heart, and you just feel it's the right one, and that's the decision I made.
And how do you feel that helped you be more rounded or complete as a person, both as a person and a footballer?
Well, I think it makes you open-minded. It makes you understanding. It makes you also understand different cultures, different ways of thinking. And to be honest, the Dutch style, normally it's a very beautiful way of playing football, very, trying to dominate, trying to play to win. And together with the Spanish mentality, they have also very strong winning mentality. So the mix of both is a very interesting mix. Very interesting.
Yang saya menanyakan adalah justru Jordi Cruyff ini punya background yang sangat unik, di mana dia adalah anaknya Johan Cruyff, seorang footballer legendaris dari Belanda, tapi dia dari umur yang sangat muda sudah pindah ke Spanyol dan udah dari youth academy-nya di sana dan main bertahun-tahun, bahkan dia pun tinggalnya di sana saat ini juga. Bahasa utama dia juga Spanyol, dan tadi juga sebut bahwa ada fakta menarik di mana dia sebenarnya salah satu pemain timnas Belanda yang tidak pernah main di Liga Belanda sama sekali. Dan dia ada pilihan untuk main mau di timnas Spanyol juga bisa, tapi dia lebih memilih dengan hati dan ingin main untuk Belanda. Dan ini menarik buat saya sendiri ya, karena ini adalah banyak yang bisa dicocokin sama Indonesia saat ini juga. Timnas juga penuh dengan pemain lokal dan juga diaspora, dan ini mungkin bisa jadi sesuatu yang sangat relatable buat Jordi. Saya juga ingin tahu apakah ini bisa membantu justru dia dengan role-nya sebagai penasihat teknis, dan dia juga merasa ada banyak kesamaan ya antara sepak bola di Belanda maupun sepak bola di Spanyol, di mana targetnya adalah untuk menang tapi juga main sepak bola yang indah, dan ini semoga bisa membantu dia juga untuk bisa terapkan joint culture ini di Indonesia juga di sepak bola kita di PSSI. I want to go to some of your other worldly experiences, because not only have you spent a lot of time in Europe in some of the best leagues, but you've also had time in Asia. Your time when you were in China, what was your experiences in regards to comparison? How was football in Asia different from what you had experienced prior to that?
Well, I think one of the key points, I think it's the detection of young talents. I think it's a huge country, so it's very difficult to unify criteria, to have the same philosophy for everyone. And I think that's the main difference. When young players make a debut in Barcelona at the age of 17, 18, people just see the game. But there's a lot of invisible work being done already from the age of 7 or 8 years old with these players who just don't appear. It's a development, and the quicker you can find young talent and the earlier you can develop them, the better they will be when they reach the premium age in which they have to play for the club, for the national team. So I think that's one of the key points. But from my experience in Asia, of course, it's you have to adapt. You can't just copy everything. You just need to adapt, to understand different cultures, different ways of thinking, and then you try to unify the idea to try to get the best results. And to be honest, I loved the experience there. It was 2 different clubs for 3 seasons, even though it was a bit in the COVID time, so it was difficult. The leagues were stopped for a while, but I really loved that experience.
Yang saya tanyakan adalah pengalaman Jordi saat dia menangani klub di Asia, dan apa sih bedanya sepak bola di Asia yang paling mencolok untuk dia dibandingkan sepak bola di Eropa. Dan dia yang terutama adalah developmentnya sepak bola di umur yang muda, dimana kalau di Eropa contohnya yang pasti beliau udah banyak pengalaman di Barcelona, banyak sekali sering kita lihat pemain sepak bola di Barca mungkin debut di umur 17-18, terus kita lihat wow ini sepak bola yang jago, yang hebat, tapi sebenarnya di belakang itu sudah ada banyak development bertahun-tahun untuk pemain sepak bola ini sampai ke titik tersebut. Dan itu satu hal yang bisa dilakukan sebagai contoh di Asia juga, di mana sepak bola bisa mungkin dicari, dididik dengan baik dari umur yang sangat muda, agar mereka saat udah masuk ke umur-umur yang mereka bisa debut, skill levelnya dan lain-lain, dan mentalnya juga sudah siap untuk bisa di level yang lebih tinggi lagi.